it's pretty simple. You are here and you want to get to there, to the promised land of success, of meaningful work and emotional fulfillment. You see the expansive gap, but you're not phased. You're up for the journey. You're up to take action, to work, to hustle. At the same time, it's not so simple. Despite your passion and ambition, when it comes time to actually sit down and do the work, you're always met with a barrier. You find yourself drained of drive, drained of motivation, drained of energy, suddenly in that apathetic mood with only one thought echoing through your mind. I just don't feel like it. And so, more often than not, that work session goes to waste. This frustrates you because you aren't a slacker at heart. Far from it. You actually want to work. You daydream constantly of adopting this relentless work ethic in the pursuit of your dreams. But man, that beast of a feeling, it always shows its ugly face right at the worst moment. It's called resistance. That beast you're fighting, resistance. Nothing kills a dream quite like resistance. Steven Pressfield's beloved book, The War of Art, paints a vivid, personified picture of resistance. His solution? Turn pro. Recognize it, acknowledge in many ways and manifest in your life, then toss all that aside, sit down, shut up, and do the work right through the resistance. It doesn't matter if the day's outcome is a masterpiece or utter trash. Like a dispassionate professional, all that matters is you show up, punch in, grind out the work, and punch out. Rinse and repeat every single day. I agree. If you have a lofty dream, you have to go pro. You have to get serious. You have to just do the work. But the assumption made about resistance is that there's nothing you can do about it. It's just this integral and unyielding part of the human condition. In other words, resistance is assumed to arrive unbidden, like a mysterious evil spirit coming to haunt you whenever it pleases. But that assumption is wrong. There is something behind resistance. That lethargic, I don't feel like it feeling, yeah, it has a source, it has a cause. Now just imagine if you found that source, then you went after it and squashed it. Imagine the result. Imagine what it would feel like to work or practice your craft undisturbed, without that unrelenting urge to stop, without being pulled left and right by cravings and temptations, without having to consciously force yourself to work with grit and willpower. What would that do to your creativity? What would that do to your ability to enter that coveted flow state? How much more likely would you be to stay committed over the long run, to turn pro? Much, if not all, of the resistance we experience is actually caused by our vices, by the objects of our bad habits. To understand how that can be, I need to first lay down a premise. Why do you enjoy and get so much pleasure from a nutritious, satisfying meal? Why is meeting and connecting with someone attractive so special and gratifying? In one shape or another, each of these experiences provides proof to your brain that you're doing something good for your survival. So, to motivate you to continue doing more of these activities, you are rewarded with a pleasurable feeling. These sorts of feelings are known as primary rewards. Primary rewards are hard to get. They are very costly in terms of risks, efforts, or both. For example, meat tastes good because getting it requires hunting in the wild, often for days, exposed to the harsh elements and to other lurking predators. Sex feels good because it requires the risk of being outcast from your tribe if you advance on the wrong person. If you want the pleasure of primary rewards, there's no way around these energy costs and risks. Well, At least that's how it used to be. Nowadays, we have vices. Vices have cut out the middleman to pleasure. They allow us to feel primary rewards without much of anything in terms of energy costs or risks. You no longer have to put in the effort to make friends, to organize plans, to go out. You can now just sit on a couch, load up a sitcom, and vicariously experience the pleasure of engaging or dramatic social interactions. You no longer have to scavenge for berries in the hot sun at the mercy of bees and mosquitoes. We now have delicious candy delivered by the crate to your local Walmart. Now, you have to understand we evolved in an environment where energy was extremely scarce. So, needless expenditures of energy could kill you. As such, you are hardwired to never be motivated, to never want to expend energy unless you absolutely have to, unless your survival is at stake. You don't get to decide when you're motivated, when you're free to use up energy, and when you're propelled to take action. The old lizard part of your brain, the part responsible for you not dying, only it gets to make those decisions. With that in mind, what do you think happens when you spend the entire afternoon engaging with your bad habits, consuming all sorts of vices, and experiencing all sorts of primary rewards? What message is being sent to the old lizard part of your brain? You're good. You're surviving shockingly well. The proof is right there in the stream of primary rewards. As a result, that part of your brain will squash any conscious request you send to use energy, especially mental energy. Think about it. Why should it let you work? All the survival boxes are ticked, which could only mean you just expended a ton of energy. It's time to shut down and relax. It's time to do nothing. So that's where that urge to chill, to not work comes from. That explains why after, say, browsing Reddit for an hour, just the thought of opening a Word document to write, as you promised you would, can feel so grueling and unappealing. Your antiquated brain is convinced you're about to needlessly waste energy, which is something it evolved to assume would kill you. So it summons resistance as a survival mechanism. It's the same sort of resistance you'd feel if you walked near the edge of a cliff. It's just your brain trying to not let you die. Chances are you already want to end your bad habits because, yeah, they're addictive as heck and waste a ton of time, yada yada. But you have to realize your vices cut way, way deeper than that. Vices make you complacent and okay with accepting how things are, rather than motivated to work towards where you want to be. Vices are the very thing killing your motivation and drives, killing your hunger to work and engage and to use up energy. So if you end your vices, you end the resistance. And if you end the resistance, well, you can get to work.